Since 2008, only one American team has won the Concacaf Champions League / Concacaf Champions Cup. This team being the Seattle Sounders back in 2022, when they overtook Pumas and laid claim to the biggest soccer throne in North America. Since then, two American teams have been able to make the final, but both were unsuccessful in their attempts to strike gold. LAFC lost to Lyon in a somewhat lopsided contest, and more recently the Columbus Crew lost to Pachuca with allegedly the help of a little bit of Salmonella typhi. It is no secret, when looking back at the history of this competition, that the MLS teams are getting better. But will we see a team hoist the trophy once again this year in 2025? This year, there have been 10 MLS teams that have qualified for the tournament. These teams include the Columbus Crew, LAFC, the Colorado Rapids, SKC, Inter Miami, the Vancouver Whitecaps, the LA Galaxy, FC Cincinnati, RSL, and the Seattle Sounders. If you ask me, these teams are a pretty good representation of MLS. Columbus Crew, Inter Miami, LAFC, and the LA Galaxy are probably the best of the bunch and would prove a worthy opponent for any North American team south of the border. The largest problem with any of the MLS teams is that they have to play by the strict set of MLS salary cap rules that none of the other teams in the tournament have to follow. The pathetically low salary cap that MLS has deployed essentially handicaps these teams. Currently, the salary cap is around $10 million when you factor in things such as general allocation and target allocation money. $10 million is a laughable number when you take into account that there are players making more than that by themselves. Compare this number to the Liga MX, where there is no formal salary cap. Teams like Monterrey, America, and Tigres are paying double if not triple that. If given the chance, MLS teams would pay the same if not more than these Liga MX teams. Take into account Inter Miami, who is paying around $30 million essentially all on one player due to the DP rule. If there was no salary cap, I could easily see Inter Miami having a payroll of around $60 to $70 million. You see, the salary cap doesn't completely restrict teams from purchasing elite talent. The main problem is the lack of quality depth that these teams can acquire. Most of these MLS teams' salary are focused on their first 6 to 7 players, and the others are merely an afterthought in order to comply with the MLS salary cap. Now, with all that being said, do any of these teams have a chance this year? I think definitely. MLS has 10 teams, yes, a staggering 10 teams that have qualified for the tournament. That is an absurd number when compared to years past of only 4 teams qualifying for the exact same tournament. Just due to chance, this makes it so MLS has a good chance of making it to the final. What increases these chances is the incredibly favorable draw for this year. When looking at the top left of the bracket, there is only one non-MLS team, being Cavalier, who, in all due respect, aren't very good. This means the MLS team is essentially guaranteed to make the semifinals on the left side of the bracket. If I had to choose, I would put my money on, I would say, Inter Miami making it to that stage and facing Monterrey, which could be anyone's game. By MLS standards, Inter Miami have a stacked lineup, and you would be a fool to bet against the GOAT, the one and only, the Messiah, Lionel Messi. Their team is likely to get even more stacked as well, due to their desire to perform well in the club's World Cup this summer. On the right side of the bracket, MLS teams are sparse. On this side, it is definitely harder for an MLS team to qualify, but if it's going to be done, I have my money on the LA Galaxy. Even with Riqui Puig's devastating ACL injury, I still see this team as a strong, well put together squad. Paintsel, Peck, Royce, and Joveljic make that attack tick, and they currently possess the most valuable squad in MLS, even surpassing Inter Miami. They're most likely going to have to face Tigres and Club America to make it to the final, but it can definitely be done. Crazier things have happened. So now, will an MLS team win this year? From a realistic view, I'm going to say it all depends on what Inter Miami do in the offseason. If they go out and splash some cash on some TAM and DP level players, then they have a great chance to lift another trophy this year. If not, I'm going to have to give the edge to Liga MX teams in the competition. In a couple weeks, we'll truly see how ambitious some of these MLS teams are or are not, and then we can make an accurate assessment on how well these teams will do in the competition.